And here we go. Oh my goodness. So I warned y'all, bro. I told y'all about what was on the horizon, what was going to happen. And that is because it all depends on the definitions. When it came to the press secretary talking about the truth and punishing AP, and then how that led to, them selecting certain reporters to cover certain events and banning certain reporters, this all has to deal with, as I've said before, a soft dictatorship. And the only reason I call it a soft dictatorship is because he doesn't have absolute power. But we are leaning heavy into fascism, silencing those who have a difference of political opinion. That is what's going on currently right now. We have this. And then when it came to as far as, hey, we're going to deport anyone who does anti-Semitism, who's in, ally with Hamas and terrorist organizations. That sounds cool, right? From a face value. But then you have to look into, well, how does this administration describe anti-Semitism? How does this administration describe, being in line with the terrorist organization such as Hamas? And this is where it leads us to this individual known as Mahmoud Khalil. Khalil. I believe it's Mahmoud Khalil. I may be messing it up, but bear with me, all right? What they're saying is he was a significant person having to deal with the Columbia University protests, okay? And that being the case, the protests, what they were looking to do was to have the Columbia to cut ties with Israel, right? Okay, as stupid as that may be, side note, just a little side note, I find it absolutely hysterical that Black Americans haven't done something like this for reparations, right? I find it absolutely hysterical. There hasn't been any type of a walkout on schools, on campuses, on businesses, none of that. But nevertheless, that is what they're fighting for. They're fighting for, hey, to stop funding the war that's going on in Gaza because they're attacking, Palestinians, and, we need to stop Israel, and everyone needs to cut ties from Israel. That's what they were looking to do. I went on to find out, what the right really had on this guy. Because when it comes to stories like this, you have the left who usually capes for people like this, and they try to minimize any of the wrongdoings that the person has done. And then you have the right who are just like, hang him. And it's like, whoa, hold on. So I go on this thread, and essentially you have this guy, he's talking to, I believe it was CNN. He's like, yo, we'll escalate it as far as, what needs to happen in order to get our outcome.
Are you guys going to listen to the university and leave the encampment here?
Of course not. The university is the one who should listen to us. They should listen to their student body who are demanding to end their investment in the war that's happening in Palestine. Our demands are clear. Our demands are regarding the investment from the Israeli occupation, the companies that are profiting and contributing to the genocide of our people. Again, the university, once again, they are so stubborn in listening to their students. They're treating this matter as a disciplinary matter. They're not treating this as an anti-war movement that actually gathered thousands of students here. That actually sparked thousands of students across the United States.
Okay, all right, I hear you. They show a bunch of him being in the protests and, them wearing the thing that signifies that you're with Palestine, the little scarf, that triggers many Jewish people. They have that going on. And I'm seeing all this, but I'm not seeing anything, him saying, go do violence, I'm with Hamas, or I'm not seeing any of that.
How far are you all willing to go here on campus?
We're going to go as far as we need to pressure the university to pressure the university to divest from the occupation. This is up to the group, to the leadership of the group, to decide how far they will go. But now it's clear that the students will remain here. They will stay here until they achieve their demands.
And this is their evidence as to why, he's such a bad guy and this needs to happen. Now, what happened to this guy is that ICE went into, I believe, got into his apartment and then threatened his wife. Crazy. But he's being held right now and he's about to be deported. Now, a judge recently blocked him from being deported and say, hey, you got to go through the processes. But the reason for that is due to Trump's, EO, where he's like, yo, any type of anti-Semitism on these college campuses, you're going to be deported. We're going to get you out of here. And he was on a green card. So they're like, hey, we're going to revoke your green card. We're getting you out of here. That's what's happening. Now, having said all that, this is how I see it. How I see it is when it comes to Khalil, Mahmoud, whatever, I think he's an idiot. That's just me personally. I think he's an idiot. I think the moment in time that you are a father, right? He's a husband and he's about to become a father. His wife was 8 months pregnant, is 8 months pregnant, 8 months pregnant. This is not the time, Mahmoud, to be going on college campuses and talking about, we've got to protest, Israel, we got to protest, we're going to do anything. This is not the time for you to be a freedom fighter, pimpin'. This is not the time, especially when you here on a green card, okay, my G, with Trump as president. I'm just letting you know, you're stupid. And as they say, I hate to go there, but play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Are you retarded?
And that's what it seems that he's won, okay? You should have been at home with your wife and your expected child. That's what you should have been doing, preparing for that, all right? Instead of playing, I don't know, freedom fighter on Columbia University. Bro, if you don't stop playing and miss me with this nonsense. But nevertheless, that's my view on Mahmoud. Now, when it comes to the actions of yeeting him, how I see it, based off of what I've seen thus far and everything he said and everything that's transpired, I see this as very much a violation of First Amendment. It's a violation of First Amendment on behalf of Israel. Because as I've said before, how they view anti-Semitism, okay, is based off of this president, that can be anything and everything that bears any type of criticism of what's going on in Gaza. That's how they can view it. That's why I'm saying when it comes to these definitions of truth coming from Trump, I'm like, that's rich coming from a person who believes that they stole the election, right? That's rich coming from. When it comes to anti-Semitism and support terrorist organizations, that's rich coming from them, that they are very much, just licking the food of Netanyahu to the point where they're like, hey, we're going to remove any type of restraints you have on any type of weapons. Go ahead and do what you need to do in Gaza. That's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, okay? Now, the problem is that we've already know what Trump has been done. All right, I already told you what Trump is about. Trump ain't about America. Trump is very much Israel first. That's what Trump is about. Trump is about Israel first and America second. It is what it is. We already saw this when it came to the college campuses. I've talked about this ad nauseum. Him doing his executive order against anti-Semitism. When it came to the Harvard professor who got yeeted for anti-Semitism. Now, mind you, this has nothing to do with any type of hatred of Jewish people or Israel or any of that. This just has to deal with American people being treated as second-class citizens in their own country. That's what it has to deal with. It has to deal with them giving priority to Israel before Americans. That's what it has to deal with, and that's an issue that keeps on popping its head up severely in this administration.
Damn.
So now it's on the line. You may not like the guy. I don't like the guy personally. I think he's a jackass, in my opinion. However, there is still that violation of the First Amendment that I could be wrong. New information could come out. But as I've seen thus far, there seems to be a violation of the First Amendment. And unlike what the Republicans have been saying, because there are simpletons on the right that are trying to say, oh, I thought this wasn't a First Amendment. I thought this was allowed. And they don't seem to understand the concept of the First Amendment. The First Amendment has to deal with the government. Not with, the bakery shop down the corner. That's not what it has to deal with. But of course, most of these right-wing, conservative individuals, they're nothing more than just simpletons, okay, who regurgitate what the other simpletons want to hear. That's all there is. There's no thought into anything they say. The Constitution that they love, they don't even know anything about.
He's out of line, but he's right.
So how I see it is like, yeah, you may not like the guy. You may not even like what he was doing as far as protesting. But to then say that, hey, he's a Hamas sympathizer, and I'm like, I haven't seen anything that says he's a Hamas sympathizer. I haven't heard anything of him saying I love Hamas or anything like that. I haven't heard anything, all right? And I've been on all the right-wing stations, networks. I've been there. I haven't seen it. So I don't know where this is coming from. It sounds like they're railroading this guy in order to show their support for Israel. And even if you like that, even if you're like, yeah, screw this guy. He was doing, protests on the campuses, locking the campus out, for over Gaza and everything for Palestine. Even if you support that, what you have to understand when it comes to this administration, if you don't know by now, that the reticle will eventually move on you. That's what will happen. you have to understand that that reticle will eventually come on you. It will eventually, you will have a reticle right there. And there's no one else to defend you, bruh, it's game over. Night, night, bye-bye. This is very much fascism. That's what this is. And it's not, it's crazy part, is fascism on behalf of Israel. Do you understand? It's not even the United States. They're doing this for Israel. Okay, just so we're clear. Second problem is that we have a constitution and you're violating that. So now you're violating the constitution on behalf of Israel. Something's, it doesn't sound right to me. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe Lucas, this guy's got to go, okay? He was violating his green card. You know, people were hurt because of his protest. He's got to go. Or if you don't believe, I hear you, but at the same time, it very much seems, based off the information I know, okay, thus far, this is a clear and present violation of this man's First Amendment. To try and deport him simply because you want to deem him a Hamas sympathizer and have no evidence to support that, okay? Have no evidence to support that. Other than him holding a protest to stop Colombia from, you know, giving funds to Israel, whatnot. That's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, all right? Just so we're clear. Nevertheless, if you happen to disagree, you know where to find me. Friday through Sunday, Disagreement Day. Call in, we duke it out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think about this. And subscribe and all that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing. Okay, all right, I hear you.